My name is Harriet Coleman. I am 68 years old. For 36 years, I worked as a kindergarten teacher. I spent my days surrounded by children, laughing, crying, learning, growing. I loved those children, every single one of them, but none of them could ever replace the love I felt for my own son. My son's name is Donovan. He is 39 years old. He was my miracle child. I had given up hope of ever having a baby. The doctors said it was impossible. They said my body couldn't carry a child to term. They said I should accept it and move on, but I didn't accept it. I prayed. I hoped. I believed. And against all odds, Donovan was born, a healthy baby boy with his father's eyes and my stubbornness. His father, my husband Robert, passed away when Donovan was only 6 years old. A heart attack, sudden, devastating. One day he was there, laughing in the garden, planting roses. The next day he was gone. I raised Donovan alone after that. I worked 2 jobs. I went without sleep. I went without meals. I went without everything so that my son could have the life he deserved. And he did have that life. He grew into a handsome, intelligent, ambitious young man. He went to college. He went to law school. He became a successful attorney. He married a beautiful woman named Vanessa. He bought a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood. He had beautiful children. He had everything. Except me. Because somewhere along the way, after he got married, my son became a stranger. The boy I raised, the boy I sacrificed everything for, the boy who used to hold my hand and tell me he loved me, he disappeared. And in his place was a man I barely recognized. It started slowly, so slowly that I almost didn't notice. At first, it was just small things. He stopped calling as often. He stopped visiting as frequently. He stopped inviting me to family dinners. He stopped including me in holidays. I told myself he was busy. I told myself he had his own life now. I told myself I was being too sensitive. I told myself 1,000 lies because the truth was too painful to face. The truth was that Vanessa didn't like me. I don't know why. I was always kind to her. I welcomed her into our family. I treated her like a daughter. I gave her gifts. I helped her plan the wedding. I babysat her children. I did everything I could to make her feel loved and accepted. But it was never enough. She looked at me with cold eyes. She spoke to me with clipped words. She made it clear that I was not welcome in her home, in her life, in her family. And Donovan, my sweet Donovan, he chose her. He chose her over me. I don't blame him, not really. He is a husband. He is a father. He has responsibilities. I understand that. But understanding doesn't make the pain go away. It doesn't fill the empty space in my heart where my son used to be. The first time I realized I had become a stranger to my son was at my grandson's birthday party. Nalan was turning 5. I had bought him a gift, a wooden train set that I had found at an antique store. It was beautiful, handcrafted, the kind of toy that would be passed down through generations. I arrived at Donovan's house early. I wanted to help set up. I wanted to spend time with my grandson before the party started. I knocked on the door. Vanessa answered. She looked at me like I was a door-to-door salesman. "Harriet," she said, "you're early." I wanted to help. I brought Nalan's gift. She glanced at the gift bag in my hands. "We already have enough toys. He doesn't need any more." "It's not just a toy, it's a train set, vintage, handcrafted. I thought he would love it." She took the bag from me. "I'll put it in the closet. We don't want to overwhelm him with too many presents." I stood on the doorstep feeling small and invisible. "Can I see him? Can I see Nalan?" "He's getting ready. He'll be out soon. Why don't you wait in the living room?" She didn't invite me in. She just opened the door wider and gestured for me to enter. I walked into the house. It was beautiful, perfect, sterile, everything in its place, nothing out of order. It was the kind of house that looked like a magazine spread, not a home. I sat on the couch. I waited. The party started. Children arrived. Parents arrived. Everyone was laughing and talking and having a wonderful time. I sat in the corner holding a glass of lemonade I didn't want, watching everyone else have fun. Nalan came out. He was wearing a little suit. He looked adorable. He ran to his friends. He opened his presents. He never looked at me. He never came to me. He never said hello. I tried to approach him. Nalan, sweetheart, I brought you a gift. It's a train set. Would you like to see it? He looked at his mother. Vanessa shook her head. We'll open it later, Nalan. Go play with your friends. He ran away. He didn't look back. That was the moment I realized I was no longer part of his life. I was just a stranger, an old woman who showed up at parties and sat in corners and was quickly forgotten. The second time I realized I had become a stranger to my son was at Thanksgiving. I had always hosted Thanksgiving. Every year, for 39 years, it was my tradition, my gift to my family. I would spend days preparing, cooking, baking, cleaning, decorating. The house would smell like turkey and cinnamon and love. The table would be full of food. The room would be full of laughter. But that year, Donovan called me. Mom, he said, Vanessa and I have decided to host Thanksgiving this year. We want to start our own traditions. We want to do it at our house. I felt my heart drop, but I always host Thanksgiving. It's our tradition. We want to start our own traditions, Mom. You understand, don't you? I didn't understand. I didn't understand at all, but I said yes. I always said yes. I was too afraid of losing him to say no. I arrived at Donovan's house on Thanksgiving Day. I brought my famous sweet potato casserole, the one that everyone always loved. I walked in the door. Vanessa took the casserole from me. Thank you, Harriet. I'll put this in the kitchen. She walked away. She didn't invite me to sit down. She didn't offer me a drink. She didn't introduce me to the other guests. I stood in the foyer feeling like an intruder in my own son's house. I found a seat in the corner. I sat there. I watched everyone else laugh and talk and eat. Donovan was at the head of the table carving the turkey. He was laughing with his in-laws. He was pouring wine for Vanessa's father. He was playing with his children. He was being the perfect host. He never looked at me. He never spoke to me. He never acknowledged that I was there. At the end of the night, I walked up to him. Donovan, I'm going to leave now. Thank you for having me. He looked at me. For a moment, I saw a flicker of something in his eyes. Guilt, sadness, I don't know. It was gone as quickly as it appeared. Okay, Mom, drive safe. He didn't hug me. He didn't thank me for coming. He didn't ask me to stay. He just turned away and went back to his guests. I drove home in silence. I didn't cry. I was too empty for tears. I went to bed. I stared at the ceiling. I wondered when everything had gone so wrong. The third time I realized I had become a stranger to my son was at my granddaughter's baptism. Genevieve was a beautiful baby. She looked just like Donovan. Same eyes, same smile, same stubbornness. I was so proud, so hopeful. Maybe this would be a new beginning. Maybe this would bring us closer. I went to the church. I sat in the front row. I watched the ceremony. I watched Donovan and Vanessa stand at the altar with their daughter in their arms. I watched them make promises to raise her in the faith. I watched them smile and laugh and hold her close. After the ceremony, there was a reception at Donovan's house. I went. I brought a gift, a silver locket with Genevieve's initials engraved on it. It was beautiful, expensive. I had saved for months to buy it. I walked up to Vanessa. Congratulations, she is beautiful. I brought her a gift. Vanessa took the gift. She didn't open it. She set it on a table with the other gifts. Thank you, Harriet. That's very kind. Is there anything I can do to help? Set up the food, pour drinks. No, thank you. We have everything under control. I looked around the room. All the guests were talking and laughing and having a wonderful time. I stood in the corner, holding a glass of punch, feeling like I didn't belong. Donovan walked by. He didn't stop. He didn't say hello. He didn't introduce me to anyone. He just walked past me like I was a piece of furniture. I left early. I couldn't take it anymore. I walked to my car. I sat in the driver's seat. I finally cried. I cried for the son I had lost. I cried for the daughter-in-law who hated me. I cried for the grandchildren who didn't know me. I cried for the life I had built and the family I had lost. I didn't hear from Donovan for months after that. No calls, no visits, no invitations, nothing. I was completely erased from his life. I called him, he didn't answer. I left voicemails, he didn't return them. I sent letters, he didn't respond. I was a stranger, a ghost, someone who had once been important and was now forgotten. Then on a cold Tuesday morning in November, my phone rang. It was Donovan. "Mom," he said, his voice was strange, hollow, "I need to see you." "Of course, sweetheart, what's wrong?" "I'll come to your house. I'll be there in an hour." He hung up. I sat in my kitchen, my heart pounding. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. He arrived an hour later. He looked terrible. His face was pale, his eyes were red. He had lost weight. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Sit down," I said. "Sit down and tell me what's wrong." He sat at my kitchen table. He put his head in his hands. He started to cry. I had not seen my son cry since he was a little boy. "Mom," he said, I'm so sorry for everything." "What are you talking about?" "Vanessa, she's leaving me. She's taking the children, she's taking everything." I stared at him. "What do you mean she's leaving you?" "She's been having an affair for years with her boss. She's been stealing money from our accounts. She's been planning this for a long time. She's already moved out. She's already filed for divorce. She's taking the children and she's taking everything." I reached across the table. I took his hand. "Donovan, I am so sorry. What can I do? How can I help?" He looked at me. His eyes were desperate. "I don't know, Mom. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know anything." "You can stay here. You can stay as long as you need. This is your home. It has always been your home." He started to cry again. He cried like a little boy. He cried for his marriage. He cried for his children. He cried for the life he had lost. I held him. I held him like I had held him when he was a child. I rocked him. I told him it was going to be okay. I told him I would always be there for him. I told him I loved him. I didn't mention the years of silence. I didn't mention the coldness. I didn't mention the pain. I just held my son and let him cry. Donovan moved back into my house. It was strange at first, a grown man living in his childhood bedroom. He was broken, depressed, lost. He barely ate, he barely slept, he barely spoke. But I was patient. I made him breakfast. I left it outside his door. I didn't push. I didn't demand. I just waited. One evening he came down. He sat at the kitchen table. He looked at me. "Mom," he said, "how did you do it after Dad died? How did you survive?" I thought about Robert. I thought about the years of loneliness, the years of struggle, the years of raising a child alone. "I didn't have a choice," I said. "I had you. You were my reason to keep going. But you were so strong. You never complained. You never fell apart." "I did fall apart," I said. "I just didn't let you see it. I cried at night when you were asleep. I screamed into my pillow. I was broken, but I put myself back together, for you." He was quiet for a long time. "I don't know how to do that," he said. "I don't know how to put myself back together." "One day at a time," I said. "That's how, one day at a time." The months that followed were hard. Donovan was in therapy. He was dealing with the divorce. He was fighting for custody of his children. He was trying to rebuild his life. I was there for him every step of the way. I didn't judge him. I didn't blame him. I didn't say, "I told you so." I just loved him. I just supported him. I just reminded him that he was not alone. Vanessa got everything, the house, the money, the children. Donovan was left with nothing. He had to start over from scratch. But he did start over. He got a new job. He found a new apartment. He rebuilt his relationship with his children, slowly, carefully, without expectations. He started coming to dinner, every Sunday. He would show up with a bottle of wine and a smile. He would help me cook. He would sit at my kitchen table and talk about his life, his work, his struggles, his hopes. We were healing slowly, painfully, one day at a time. One evening, Donovan asked me a question. "Mom," he said, "how did you forgive me? For all the years I pushed you away. For all the years I was cruel. For all the years I made you feel like a stranger." I thought about it. I thought about the birthday party, the Thanksgiving, the baptism, the years of silence. "I didn't forgive you all at once," I said. "I forgave you in pieces, a little bit every day. Some days I was angry. Some days I was hurt. Some days I wondered if I could ever forgive you at all. But you did. Because I love you, I have always loved you. You are my son. You will always be my son, no matter what you do, no matter how much you hurt me, no matter how many years we lose. I will always love you." He started to cry. "I don't deserve you, Mom. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know you don't, but I'm giving it to you anyway, because that's what mothers do. We forgive, we love, we leave the door open." He hugged me. I hugged him back. We held each other for a long time. That was 2 years ago. Donovan is doing better now. He has a good job. He has a small apartment. He has a relationship with his children. He has a life. He comes to dinner every Sunday. We sit at the kitchen table. We talk about everything and nothing. We laugh. We cry. We heal. He has started dating again, slowly, carefully. He introduced me to his new girlfriend, a woman named Alina. She is kind, gentle, patient. She treats me with respect. She treats Donovan with love. I am happy for him. I am proud of him. I am grateful to have my son back. I am Harriet Coleman. I am 68 years old. I am a retired kindergarten teacher. I live in a small house with a garden and a porch swing and a son who visits me every Sunday. I watched my son become a stranger after marriage. It was the most painful experience of my life. I lost him. I lost him to a woman who didn't love him, to a life that didn't include me, to a world that didn't value me. But he came back. He came back broken and humbled and sorry. He came back to me and I was there. I was always there with open arms, with forgiveness, with love. That is what mothers do. We wait, we love, we leave the door open. Even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. And when our children finally walk through that door, we welcome them home. No questions asked, no conditions, no fine print. Just love. Unconditional, unending, unbreakable. That is the love that saved my son, and that is the love that will keep us together for the rest of our lives.